Hey, welcome to Street Talk, everybody. So good to be here. Matter of fact, want to say big ups and what's up to our friend, our brother, and one of our legends, Mr. Ron Edwards. We had an opportunity to speak to him today. Glad that he could be a part of Minnesota Television, Minneapolis Television Network, and bring you all the history and all the information that you need and want to hear because he can bring it to you. What's up, John?
It's cold outside. That's what's up.
Hey, I know that's right. And so today we're going to be talking about this brother's book, Dr. Jermaine M. Davis. Dr. Jermaine M. Davis came and spoke to our Rotarian Club, and he is a brother that is an author. Get up off your butt, do it now. Be diversity competent, and a co-author of the book, You Don't Have to Sell Out to Stand Out. He's a brother that believes in leading with greatness, and so he believes that moving people and organizations from chaos to conflict to communication and cooperation. It's a good book. And before we start talking about this book and some things in this book, John, I want to talk about the shooting that just happened last night at Merwin's.
Last night?
Merwin's drugstore. Wow. On Broadway. There was a young kid that was shot in his jaw. And others were hit by bullets, stray bullets, coming from the gas station over to the drugstore. Now, evidently, whoever this person was didn't care who the bullets hit. And social media went crazy, and when they found out there was a liquor store and a phone store and a drugstore all together combined, many of the people got on and said, what was the little boy doing at the liquor store? Well, it's clear that he wasn't at the liquor store, but here's what tends to happen, John. People hear about somebody getting shot, and if it's in the black community, they're always looking for a reason to say, so what? That's what happens in the black community. Why was a kid at the liquor store? Why was somebody out that late? They're always looking for a reason.
That's true.
But when it happens in another community, they say, what are we going to do about it? And I'm waiting for more people, us to come together and say, what are we going to do about it? We talk about public safety. We talk about the ability to take care of business and do what we need to do in our community. But do we fund the things that we need to fund? Do we do what it takes to really put our brothers and sisters that know what they're doing and know how to do it out on the streets to do it?
No, that's. I don't think our community does not control any money. So we're always at the table asking for money. We don't control any money. And that's part of the problem. So our problems are sort of down at the bottom, and everybody else's problems are at top because they control the money and stuff. So we need more controllers. We need more people, in the governor's office, in all the offices. We need more people that care about our community in office that control the money. That's the problem. And we need a bigger voice. We have to elevate our voice. We will, the only thing that really united us at one time was Black Lives Matter because of police shootings, and our voice got elevated, but we need to elevate our voice, especially when things are going okay. We need to stop being silent and stop having quiet time. We need to ask for and make sure our politicians know and give us what we need.
I agree with that, and I think you're absolutely right, John. And I think the other thing that we have to do is be more united, man. We just can't seem to be united. We do so many backdoor deals. We backbite each other and we backstab each other. There's no way that we're going to have united front when we do backdoor deals.
But the people that control the money, they sort of like that, and they play into that. They sort of like that. And so when you're always at a deficit, and we're always, at a deficit for our needs in our community. We're always trying to make $1,000 worth of good with $100. That's been our history, and we've done a good job of it. But it's stressful. It takes us away from our goal and our focus. When we're doing good work, they don't usually make us best practices. They make us just these guys do work because we don't control that either. So I just think, we have to, the dynamics of power has to shift, and it's up to us to make it shift.
Well, let me say this. I'm 63 years old, Mr. Turnipseed, and at this point in my life, I've made a decision. I am going to be more vocal when it comes to politics and positioning, not only my organization, but talking about other organizations. I'm going to be more vigilant about talking about real and being transparent about really what's going on in our community and letting people know, what our politicians are doing and how they're doing it. Because I think it's time for us to just take our position in this community. So many folks are thriving while others are suffering. Where so many of us are being underfunded while others are being overfunded. They have abundance of funding. And so we have to look out for those organizations that are struggling and either help them build capacity or merge with another organization so they can do what they need to do. Why don't we take a look at that? Sometimes you just need a little help from another organization to get yourself in order. And so that's what we need to do. Mad Dads, we're just really blessed to be around 20 years, man. To play politics for 20 years, to put our people first for 20 years. I hear some guy got on Facebook and said, well, you didn't help me when my son was struggling. And we can't, I'll be honest, we can't help everybody. But we sure helped a lot of people, John. We've sure helped a lot of families. And we've been there for a lot of families. And there's nobody with a perfect record. So I'll be the first to say to that brother, I'm sorry, man. Couldn't help you with your 3-year-old son or your 3-year-old daughter when you reached out for us. I couldn't help everybody. But we've helped a lot of people. And a lot of people are thankful for the work that we've done. And I'm proud to say that.
Yeah.
I'm proud to say that. Everybody that there was a brother just called me today. He said, we had signs that said, stop the killing. He tried to blow his horn. His horn didn't work. He said, that's a sign. Let me go get my gun so somebody getting ready to kill me. He said when he got out of his car to go get his gun, his horn wouldn't stop blowing. And he didn't know what to do. The guy came out and showed him how to take it loose. He said, that's a sign to not get his gun. Today, he works for Mad Dads. He's telling other people not to have their guns. We've been training people, man, and taking people off the block and training them how to give back and give back to the community. For 20 years we've been doing this. And we didn't ask for any recognition. We didn't ask for any of the stuff, accolades that we get. We just know that we've been changing the lives of people for 20 years, John. And that doesn't include all the thousands of families that together that we have served. So I'm proud to say we're doing our work. We've been on the ground. We've been in the trenches. I'm proud to say that. And I want to thank you for your friendship and your partnership because together we were able to do it.
Oh, absolutely. There's a young man, I won't mention his name, who recently started working for you. I'm sort of like one of his mentors and stuff. And I just watched the change in his life when he came and told me, man, I'm working for Mad Dads. And I mean, he said it's the best, greatest job he ever had. He said because he gets to talk to people, and he feels empowered and important, and he says his girlfriend is proud of him, his probation officer is like, wow, Mad Dads, and so it carries a lot of weight in people's lives when they get the opportunity to really not just talk it, but do it, and go out on the streets in the middle of the night, go out on the streets when there's danger out there, and and talk to people that are in need and stuff. It's actually an honor to do that, and these guys actually feel it.
Well, thank you, John. I appreciate that. And let's go right to this book. Some things in here that I think that we can have some great discussion about. And one day we have to have Mr. Jermaine M. Davis on. But if you want to get his book, it's called Leading with Greatness. I advise you to get his book. It's a great book. He's got other books. But the first thing I want to talk about, he talks about in his first chapter, the importance of credibility. And John, I wanted to talk a little bit about credibility and why do you think that's so important?
Well, credibility, it's sort of like credibility will speak for you when you're not in the room. Credibility is the type of thing that'll have people standing up for you, when you're not around, because they say, man, who, so-and-so? Yeah, man, that dude's for real, If you ever lose your credibility, you'll never get it back. If you ever lose your credibility, you'll never get it back, and it's so important, especially in the work that we do. It's so important. People have to trust us to do what we say we're going to do. You know, people give us money and expect us to do what we say we're going to do. People, you know, we have conversations with people being ministers.
Absolutely.
That credibility as a minister, man, you know how people is on the streets, man. If you lose that, you're done.
That's right. So he says the 5 C's of credibility. The number 1 is character. And being authentic, sincere, and honest while showing integrity in all you do and say.
Wow. That's pretty good. That probably sums it up.
And then the number 2 one, John, is competence. Having sufficient knowledge and resources to do your job.
Don't you, you know, because I hate it when, you know, you hire somebody to do something, or they're supposed to fix something for you, and all of a sudden they're like, well, you know, this is over my head. Well, why did you jump in the ring in the first place?
And people do that all the time.
Yeah, this ain't no experiment, and people experiment with people's lives.
Number 3, he says, is commitment, being devoted and dedicated to your team and the organization's purpose, vision, and goal.
Oh, absolutely. The dedication part. And it's also important to have, you know, your household or your spouse, you know, my wife and my grandson understand that I sometimes have to work Saturday. Sometimes I have to take calls, you know, on Sunday morning. Sometimes I, you know, have to go places, and they support that. It's good to have a team that will support your dedication. Otherwise, you're struggling all the time, you know, struggling. You shouldn't have to struggle with your life and your work.
And see, the other thing is, though, somebody has to know and understand your goal, vision, and plan. If they don't know your goal and vision plan, then how can they support you and be behind you? And many times people do things without sharing their goal, their vision, and their plan. You ask somebody, man, I got a plan. Well, I don't need it. I don't write plans down because it always messes them up. Well, that's a person you don't want to get behind, and that's a person you don't want to follow.
Oh, absolutely. That's why even in business, they have you write a business plan. People want to see that you know where you're going. And if you don't write it down, if there's no clear steps, you're not going anyplace. You're just spinning around in a circle and stuff. So these young people that, you know, when I meet young people that say, man, I'm going to school and stuff, I've already applied for college, this is my goal in 5 years, and they can boom, boom, right down the line and stuff, I know that they've written it down somewhere. I know that they've thought it out. And you want to get behind stuff like that.
Number 4 is care, concern, showing a high level of interest in the success of each individual person on your team. And I think that's critical for you to see that people on your team need to be successful. One of the things I don't do enough of, John, because of my busy schedule, is sit down one-on-one with my team. You know, I do team meetings a lot, but one-on-one time means separately I really get deeper into you, and I want to do more of that.
Absolutely. Yeah, people need people to care about them, man. You know, in my present job role, I don't have to supervise anybody, but I know that when I used to supervise my team, it meant a lot to them if I remembered their birthday, if I, you know, thanked them, you know, for doing a good job, you know, and thanked them for being who they were. People need to be cared about.
The 5th one is charisma, the special qualities of an individual that draw people to them, the magnetic force that makes you favorable and likable.
And that doesn't mean that you have to be, you know, like we're outgoing people, both of us. We love people, you know, but a quiet person can also draw people to them, you know, by, you know, just the nature of who they are and stuff. Keep your character intact. But, you know, I love people, man, and I see I thought I was outgoing till I met you. You know, I thought I was, you know, a social animal and stuff, but you are by far more of a social animal than me.
Well, yeah, you know, I don't even know where I got that from. I think a lot of that comes from just, you know, finding out that really you just want to be connected to people, man, you know, and you really want to, part of that was from being in foster homes and all that. When I had an opportunity to reach out to people and I seen how hurt people were in the world, I wanted to be somebody. When I found out that a smile goes a long way to somebody. Hey man, how you doing? You don't have to know somebody. You know, a lot of times I'm with people and they go, you know all them people? No, I don't know them all. But you can believe that they will remember me. Guy came to me one day and said, "Hey man, you said something. You said, asked me how I was doing one day, man. Had nobody said nothing to me. I changed the direction of where my life went that day, man. Just something as simple as that, as being pleasant to somebody, man. You know, I can go to some cities where people don't talk at all, and I make them talk because God gave me that gift and ability to do that. I want to talk a little bit about trust because in our community, there's a reason why, and trust is one of the reasons why we're not real successful, especially in the black community. There's a lack of trust.
Yes, there is a lack of trust, and you know, it actually goes way, way back. Slavery had a lot to do with that. You know, where tribes in Africa were turned against one another. You know, people coming over and not speaking the language of other black people, and then you know, the white slave masters would put certain black guys sort of as their spies, and you know, we would turn each other in and talk if somebody was talking bad about the master. And then we grew up in this age of competitiveness, you know, where we got real competitive with one another and started stabbing each other in the back. We are a good people. All people have these problems. But for us, with the struggles that we have, we need to be able to trust one another. You know, I like to think that when I walk into a room and there's another African American in there, that person has my back, you know, and I have his back. It's not black racism. We're always the minority. And we always, only when we're two or more of us are gathered, God is there. And when two or more of us are gathered and stuff, we can look out for one another. And we don't do that.
No, we don't do that because some of us don't even know what trust really is or how to really do trust for real. So in some of our groups, trust means that I'll tell you something, but I'll do something else. Trust me. I'll say something, but I mean something else. Trust me. I'll help you, but it looks like I'm helping you, but really I'm trying to destroy you. Trust me. Well, you can't trust very long. Trust is a personal, professional, intimate relationship. Trust is the combination of both comfort and confidence. In this book, it talks to you about that. It's once again, Leading with Greatness by Dr. Jermaine M. Davis. And make sure you get that book because it will help you understand comfort, confidence equals trust. If I'm comfortable with you, John, if I'm confident that what you say you're going to do, then I can trust you. How many people, if you had to count all the people, John, that were important in your life, that made important decisions in your life, how many of those people could you really say, I'm comfortable, I'm confident that they will do everything they say they'll do?
Not a lot. Not a lot of people. You know, and you know, if a person can find 3-4 people that they can trust and have confidence in and stuff, you found a gold mine, okay? You found a gold mine.
So you have to be, here's some ways that he says you create trust. Smile often, be empathetic, be friendly, hospitable, be outgoing, be fun, and work with people that also want to have fun. Be interesting to others, be yourself, don't be phony. Involve other people, recognize and compliment, remember names, have friendly, open body language, and meet the team's basic needs and be open-minded. These are all things that you can do to build trust and make comfort. Things that you do to build confidence. Be confident in yourself, be truthful and honest, be productive, follow through on your word and your task. Do all the things that you say you're gonna do. Know your stuff and be knowledgeable. Don't make up stuff. Oh yeah, I can do that, and then find out you can't do nothing. You don't know nothing. You ain't nothing. But you wanna make sure that you look and pretend that you're all that you can do. Adhere to ethic principles and responsibilities. Be consistent, set people up for success, play on people's strengths, and set an example. These are things that build comfort and confidence, right? So if you build comfort and confidence, you automatically build trust, John.
Yeah, you know, it's something very funny. One day, you know, I hardly ever wear jeans, but I got 2 pair of jeans that, you know, I wear every once in a while. And one day I came to work with my jeans on, and I went to 3 different places. One is I went to Super America, and I used to buy gift cards, you know, when we used to do the group, and I would buy the graduation gift cards, and I wanted 10 gift cards, $500. I'd done that 50 times with my suit on. When I came in there with my jeans on, the person wanted to see 2 or 3 forms of ID and stuff, had to talk to the manager. This was a black person. So in that same day, I finally got the cards. I went to McDonald's. And this McDonald's, when I come in with my suit on, everybody called me pastor there. You know, Mr. Hey, you know. And another black person was looking at me like I was saying, I don't know what I want. He said, man, the menu doesn't change. And he started talking to me crazy. Now, I know the owner of this particular McDonald's. And, you know, if I'd had my suit on, this same guy would have treated me different. Then I went to work. And somebody seen me walking the door and say, hey, you know, who are you? And, you know, this, that, and the other. And, oh, Mr. Turnipseed, you know, clothes matter sometimes, you know, especially with people that are racist. They can be black racists, you know, that will treat you like a dog unless you know. So that's really the main reason that I wear a suit all the time, because I don't want to have to deal with that. It actually opens doors for me.
Absolutely. So, lies, broken promises, and betrayal. So many times, and me and John can attest to this, we've hired people, we've brought people on, we've helped people change their lives, and they've lied, betrayed, and gave us broken promises. John, how do you survive that? You know, we've probably did that with thousands and thousands of people in the last 20 years. What do you do to survive that and without losing trust in all of the people that we serve?
You know, I try, and I do a good job of not taking it personal. You know, people will disappoint you, you know, and if you take it personal every time someone disappoints you, you're going to be a wreck. You're going to be a depressed wreck. Find you your close circle of people that you can trust, and them are the people that you trust and respect. And everybody else, you know, you take them with a grain of salt. You know, I like to think there's good in everybody, but sometimes there ain't.
That's right. Once again, we've been looking at the book Leading with Greatness by a local author, Dr. Jermaine M. Davis. I want to talk about his book because I use it a lot, and I thank you, Doctor, for allowing me to talk about it today on our TV show, and ask people to go and get your book. It defines leadership for you. We talk about the importance of credibility, the importance of trust. We won't have time to talk about all the things, but also he talks about the leaders and what you expect from a leader and the diverse leadership styles. There's 4 different leadership styles. And then he talks about the PVG theory, purpose, vision, goals, and also the leadership and communication. His book also talks about the weak links that you should watch out for, and the conflict resolution methods. So these are great things that can help you be a great leader, help you be a great person, help you be a great family. If you take some of this model and some of the stuff in this book and use it, it will turn your life around and help you be a better person. And I'll share this with you because many of us are grandfathers and fathers and we're mentors, you know, and I spend a lot of my time pouring my wisdom into other people. I'm 63 and I'm spending a lot of my time pouring my wisdom into other individuals. Because one thing I found out as a young leader, that the older leaders weren't talking to me. They weren't telling me how to do shortcuts or how to maneuver over situations. I learned everything standing on my feet and digging down and asking questions when they could have simply told me how to do these things. I want to be the kind of leader that shares my wisdom, helps you understand that there's not a shortcut to certain things. Like you just don't get to be a CEO overnight. It doesn't happen. You don't get to start an organization in 1 or 2 weeks or a year or 6 months. It just doesn't happen. Certain things just don't happen overnight. You have to really work hard. You have to sweat, blood, sweat, and tears to make it happen. John?
Oh, absolutely. And you mentioned mentorship in there, and a lot of people don't take that serious enough. I think the guy's name was Malachi Ham, and he had a small little church, I think it was in Texas or Georgia or somewhere, and you know, didn't grow big or anything. He just had a little group of people that he constantly preached to. Well, unbeknownst to him, he would save one of the greatest crusaders ever, Billy Graham. Billy Graham got saved in his church and went out into the world. So the fruits of his labor produced a Billy Graham, you know. And Martin Luther King had, I forget the guy's name, had a mentor that, you know, watched over his, you know, decision making and helped shape him as a man. You know, so mentorship and people being able to trust you and pouring into people is the most important thing that we could ever do in another human being's life.
Absolutely. I want to say thank you. Got 2 awards this weekend, John. One from the Hawthorne community where they get a big coat giveaway. They get the Mad Dads and VJ Smith a nice award for our service and giving back. And also we got an award from Sheriff Stanek for our service to the jail and to the community as the work that we do in the jails. You know, I just want y'all to know this, man. If you don't get behind the people that are doing the work, then we can't continue to do the work. I don't know how to tell you this, man. All I can say is that I've learned something myself, is that the reason why we're not as prosperous as we can be is because we're too separated. We're too divided. We got to stop this. John, anything, last words of from the black man?
You know, again, this morning I woke up black, once again, and stuff. And I see it as a gift that God gave me because, you know, as a black man, I've had to do things that other nationalities hadn't had to endure and do, and it's made me stronger. It's made me more resilient, and most importantly, it's made me a better person. So I'm happy to wake up black again. I'm happy to go to sleep black, and tomorrow I look forward to being black. Bye-bye.
And let me say this, because we got just a little more time left. Make sure, John, you get John's book, and the movie, is it still available?
Yes.
And how do they get it?
Well, you can download the movie, just Bloodline, John Turnipseed. If you Google my name, you can download the movie, and the Christian bookstores carry my book, and Amazon and things of that nature and stuff. And if you know anybody, and if you actually can't afford the book, give me a call, 612-720-8843, 612-720-8843. I always have some copies that I give to people that just, you know, can't afford my book. I want them to read it.
Not people that just tight.
Yeah.
That don't want to spend money. Not people that got $100 in their pocket and just want a free book because John said that. No, this ain't toys for tots. Now, what's the number again, sir?
612-720-8843.
Call that number. If you really want the book, man, you want to be blessed, and maybe you can pass it on after you read it to somebody else. You have been listening and watching Street Talk on Minneapolis Television Network with some of the greatest producers around the country that help us produce some of the greatest shows around the country. You can produce one too. I just talked to a gentleman the other day. He was going to be on my show. He said, no, you're going to be on my show. Minneapolis Television Network, Street Talk, John Turnipseed, VJ Smith. Peace.